It's the final showdown here at the Norisring, and we're psyched for the last race weekend of the DTM season 2021. We are here at the Norisring, the only city circuit in the calendar. The sun is shining. We've got full house, as you can see. So many spectators here. Over 15,000 tickets have been sold. We're totally excited. And the man who's leading the championship is Liam Lawson. The 19-year-old secured pole position, and you're 15 points ahead of Kelvin Van Der Linde. So rumor has it, if you have more than 14 points advantage of Kelvin today, you will be the new DTM champ. So having that in mind, what's it looking? You always seem so calm, but what's it inside? What does it look like?
It's okay. You know, I think quali was really good this morning, but obviously he's off P2, so it's very, very close. I have 18 kilos in the car today, so honestly it's going to be about staying out of trouble and grabbing points. At this point, I can't say whether we're going to have the pace or not to stay in front, but I'll obviously try. But honestly, the grid is, I didn't realize I'd be starting on the right-hand side going into turn one. So now it's really important to try and get a good start and get in front. Otherwise, I won't be on the inside. So, but quality was really, really good. Really happy with the car. We made really, really big improvements yesterday. So, yeah, happy to be starting on pole.
Our coverage also live in New Zealand. Is your family watching?
Yeah, everybody's watching at home. Honestly, the support from home has been absolutely amazing. I've had so many really cool messages leading into this weekend. So, yeah, thanks guys. Thanks everyone at home for watching me.
All right, and now obviously you need to ace this.
Yeah, I will try. Obviously, I will do my best, but I mean, 14 points to try and have on them today is going to be extremely tough. I don't know yet whether we're going to have the speed or not to stay in front. So we'll basically, I'll know in the first couple of laps whereabouts we are.
But winning the race is probably the first big step.
That's the goal for sure.
Right.
That's definitely the goal. But otherwise, just grabbing as many points as we can.
All right, well, best of luck for the race. It's going to be super exciting. And now here's your commentator.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Welcome everybody then to DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. And this is the penultimate race of the season. Chris Hartley then to talk you through all of the action. And this, after qualifying, is how the championship looks. 15-point advantage for Liam Lawson over Kelvin Van Der Linde, and a 29-point advantage over Maxi Gotts in third place. After the race today, there are only 28 points still available from qualifying 2 and race 2 at the weekend. So various scenarios, but if Liam Lawson gets the race victory, then Kelvin Van Der Linde will have to finish at least 4th to keep the fight going into Sunday. It's all a tense build-up down on the grid, and there to bring us more colour from the grid, it's back to Verena.
Kommentator nicht.
Yeah.
Right, and so here we are with Kelvin Van Der Linde. Kelvin, whew, it's tough. I mean, only 2 more races to go, 15 points behind Liam. And I mean, this is what it's all about. So let me guess, it's all about strategy here at the Norisring?
Yeah, strategy and risk management. I think, yeah, we've got nothing to lose. He's got it all to lose, especially going to turn 1 now. I want to see if he's going to be late on the brakes, if he's going to be early, let's see. My goal is pretty clear. I want to go for it as soon as possible. While the tires are pretty cold, then everyone kind of is like on the back foot. So let's see. It's going to be crazy.
And it's going to be crazy, and I think most important, it's going to be so exciting. So how strong are your nerves?
We're all inside. I tell you, you don't even want to know what's happening inside. We're all extremely nervous. I think him more than me at the moment, because he obviously has a bit more to lose. But it's a lot of pressure. You know, there's a lot of people who see ex-champions walking around, ex-drivers used to look up to. Now I'm standing here fighting for the championship. I never thought that in my wildest dreams. So,
but it's exciting. Also, we've got full house, sunshine, so the atmosphere at Norisring is also fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, hey, it's always great. I remember coming here as a young boy racing Sirocco Cup. I used to look up to all these guys. And like I said, now I'm here standing talking to you. I saw you also back in the day doing the interviews, and now I'm here living it. So living the dream. I'm just super happy.
Phenomenal. Well, you go for it. Thank you so much, Kelvin. And now we're going to move on, because we're going to try to see if we can grab the next driver. Lucas Auer should be here somewhere. We're going to find him, because Lucas Auer is starting in P3, and he seems super relaxed here, trying to hide from the sun, but he can't hide from me. Here I am. So Lucas, starting from, sorry to interrupt, don't mean to be rude, starting in this position in P3, what are you going to do for the race?
First of all, it's interesting that I'm on the outside. I thought it would be the other side, but anyway, I try to attack, fully go forward, and then we see what will happen.
It's going to be exciting, that's for sure.
Yeah,
all right,
so.
Luki, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
last but not least, we're going to try to grab Maxi Gotts. Can't spot him right now. Yes, I can. He's there, and obviously he's still calculating-wise, he's still in the championship battle. So let's see what Maxi can do here, starting from P5. Sorry to interrupt once again. I'm always interrupting people, and you're fighting with the microphone. Maxi, you seem to be in great spirits. So what's going on, and what can you do for the race? What do you think? I mean, it's still about the championship at this point. You're starting in P5, 29 points behind Liam, but hey, anything is possible.
Absolutely. So I am here on my home race, in my hometown, I would say, on my home track, and a lot of fans and friends are here, family as well, and I really, enjoying every lap now. But of course, I try to push as much as I can. I have nothing to lose compared to the guys in front. To Liam, he has to get points for me as well. But in the end, I can take a bit more risk maybe. And I have also Lucky Hour there and Achumaini, which are pushing quite hard to this guy. So in the end, let's see how it ends up, and it's going to be tricky to warm up the tires, the brakes now. We have not many time to do it. So in the end, it's going to be interesting, the first laps.
It's going to be totally interesting and exciting, that's for sure. Now, tradition has it, usually the final is in the Hockenheimring, but now it's here at the Norisring. You said it's your home race. So what's it like for you having this phenomenal, exciting finale here at the Norisring and with all these people here?
Yeah, it's super crazy feeling. After 1.5 years without the spectators, this is something like nobody can describe the feelings. I think it's a summer day, it's warm and hot, and the race gonna be hot, and of course we will enjoy it. If you look down the street seeing the grandstands fully packed, I think that's quite a good feeling for all of us, and we will enjoy it.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you so much, Maxi.
Guys,
best of luck for the race, and now we can't wait for this race to get started. Only 2 more races in the season, so now here's your commentator, and do enjoy. See you later.
Thanks very much, Verena. Sit back and relax, everybody, because in about 10 minutes' time, you're going to be on the edge of your seat, and I guarantee you're not going to be relaxed. There's Philip Ellis celebrating his 29th birthday today. He's Swiss nationality, but grew up in Germany, not too far from here, actually, in Bavaria. So he'll be looking for a strong end to what's been a very good first season for Philip and Team Windward in DTM. You just heard from Maximilian Gortzen, who is the driver that sits third in the championship table. Now, he's got to go on the attack because he has to outscore Liam Lawson by 2 points to stay in contention. He's 29 behind, and there are only 28 points left on the table after today, so he's got to get to within 27. He can't tie on points with Liam Lawson because he won't be able to match his record of wins and second place finishes, so he's got to get ahead of him, and he's got to stay within 27 points of Kelvin Van Der Linde as well. So he needs to go on the attack, he needs to finish ahead of them. But it's not just about the championship contenders, of course, because we've got several drivers up there who are just looking to get their best results, podiums, maybe wins, and Arjun Maini is one of them who's been super quick, super impressive once again in qualifying trim, getting into the top 3 last weekend at Hockenheim, and he's on the second row of the grid for this one as well. He's going to start in 4th place. Lucas Auer starts 3rd. He's on great form as well at the back end of the season. 2 wins from the last 2 weekends. However, he won race 2 at Hockenheim, and that does, of course, mean that he has 25 kilograms of success ballast on the car. Liam Lawson will have 18 kilograms on board because he finished 2nd last time out. Max Gotts will have 15 kilograms on board. This man won't have any success ballast on board, and he starts on the front row of the grid. He scored 2 championship points for qualifying 2nd. That was 1 fewer than Liam Lawson, so the gap opening up to 15 points, the championship lead. Now, you've heard a couple of drivers talking about where they were expecting to be on the grid in terms of which side and where they actually are, because it's almost effectively pole position on the outside here. So the first kink is a right-hander, and it is a kink rather than a corner. But if you're on pole position, like Liam Lawson for the 3rd time this season, you're on the inside line for that kink. So you're on the left side of the grid as you look from the corner. However, the first proper corner just after that is the Grundig hairpin, the Grundig Kara, which is a left-hander. And if you're on the pole side of the grid, you're effectively on the wrong line going into that corner. So yes, you've got the inside line and the advantage for the kink, but for the first time you hit the brakes and going to a proper corner, you're on the outside. So he needs to make sure he gets over and covers it. And just a word as well, Marco Wittmann still mathematically in the championship hunt, but he needs to win or finish 2nd at least to have any chance, and he's back on the final row of the grid. It's all about to unfold here, the drama at the DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. The Final weekend of the season marks a welcome return to Nürnberg, with the second largest city in Bavaria. It has just over 500,000 inhabitants. It's steeped in history and culture. The Pegnitz River runs right through the city centre, and it's overlooked by the Nürnberg Castle, which is one of Europe's largest castles, which dates back to Roman times. With cobbled streets, alleyways, historic buildings and city walls, there's history all around. The settlement is almost 1,000 years old. Even the local delicacy, the small Nürnberger sausage, comes from a recipe that's over 700 years old. But it's also a vibrant modern city with a thriving nightlife and a real lust for life. This is the setting for the title decider. Welcome to DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. So there, Norbert Haug watching on all his many successes in DTM and Formula One with Mercedes. Mercedes, the brand that has the best record here at the Norisring in terms of race wins. We've got a couple of drivers on the grid that have had successes here in the past as well. Most recently, back in 2016, a victory for Nico Müller. He's going pretty well here. He starts inside the top 10. But it is all about this championship fight now. This is how the grid then will line up. Third pole position of the year for Liam Lawson. Kelvin Van Der Linde alongside the top two in the championship share the front row of the grid. Then Lucas Aron, Arjun Maini in the Mercedes just behind. Max Gortz third in the championship, and Philip Ellis start fifth and sixth. Daniel Hungadea, who's been on the podium here in the past, and Nick Cassidy coming into DTM for the first time in the second of the Ferraris, replacing Alex Albon this weekend, with Nico Müller and Esteban Moot just behind. And one point to note is that Sophia Florsch qualified in 15th place, her best qualifying so far this season, but she will carry a three-place grid penalty at the start of this race for contact with Esme Hawkey in the previous race at Hockenheim. So she'll be starting back in 18th position, just ahead of Marco Wittmann, who's had a really sore time of it in the last couple of weekends with the BMW. 0 points scored at Hockenheim. Remember, it's not that long ago he was second in the championship and a real contender, but the ageing M6 has struggled of late, and it's a long wheelbase car which tends to struggle around the tighter corners. So just a few minutes to go, less than 3 minutes to go before we get the cars off onto the formation lap, ready for the rolling start. 55 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. And Liam Lawson, who certainly on the outside seems as ever as cool as a cucumber, is up there again for the 6th time in 7 qualifying sessions of late. He's qualified in the top 3. And, well, if you watched qualifying this morning, you will know that it wasn't just one good lap. He put in 3 or 4 really, really strong laps. And even right at the end of the session, when he'd got pole position by more than a tenth and a half, he was on a really quick lap. He'd set the absolute best second sector time. The team said, go on, you can come in now. Don't need to finish the lap. And he said, you sure? I can do another one. I'm flying still. No, come in. You've done it. You're on pole position. So all smiles there. But Kelvin Van Der Linde is not one for giving up. He was just 17 years old last time he came here in 2013, the VW Sirocco R Cup, which he went on to win. That was his emergence, his arrival really in Europe, and he's had huge success since then, and is now living the dream, because this is where he has always wanted to get to. Kelvin Van Der Linde has been a winner in the ADAC GT Masters Championship in 2 separate seasons, most recently in 2018, and the Nürburgring 24-hour race winner as well. There. Bruno Spengler is here this weekend racing in a BMW Classic race. 5 times a winner at the Norisring, the most successful driver ever in terms of race wins around here. Jamie Green also an excellent record here with 4 race wins at the Norisring. The Canadian still with a big fan base, and they'll be enjoying cheering him on because he's been going very well. That was the 1 minute signal. Right, 1 minute to go. Grid now being cleared. And the tension just starts to rise that little bit. I'm nervous. I'm just commentating on this. Imagine how you feel if you are one of these drivers involved in the championship. If you're one of the teams as well, they've got a job to do here. The pit stops are going to be so critical, because it basically costs you a lap to do a pit stop here. So every split second counts. No mistakes, really. You've got to get it absolutely spot on. And if you're friends or family of supporters of the drivers involved in the championship fight, you'll be taking a deep breath now. There is Liam Lawson then, looking to become the youngest ever DTM champion. That record at the moment belongs to Pascal Wehrlein. Went on to race in Formula One, of course. He was 20, nearly 21 when he won the title back in 2015. Liam Lawson, still a teenager, as we get the green flag lap underway. The formation lap then begins here at the Norisring. 2.3 kilometres long, 8 corners, 1 public roads, right in the middle of Nürnberg. And track limits will not be an issue here, because if you are beyond the track limits, you're in the wall or in the barriers. There is no margin for error. There you see the little kink off the line. That's the inside line for pole, but the first proper corner is that left-hand hairpin, the Grundigkehre, where lots of the overtaking goes on, not just on the way into the corner, but on the way out of the corner as well. Tough circuit in terms of grip levels, because it's not a race track surface, it's public roads, so the tyres take more of a pounding, there's more bumps. You go wide some places, there are pavements and paving slabs to drive on, less grip there, changes in grip levels. The traction control, the ABS, the brakes take a real pounding here with these heavy braking zones into the 2 hairpins either side of the lap. The Grundigkehre at the start, the Dutzendijkkurve at the end of the lap, and a long straight to get the race underway, which will be very, very shortly then. So we'll try and keep on top of all the championship scenarios as the race goes on. But the top 2 in the championship are there. Maxi Götz on the 3rd row of the grid needs to really get ahead of them and outscore them. And here we go, side by side, Liam Lawson and Kelvin Van Der Linde. It's the penultimate race of the season. Chris Hartley then to talk you through the DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. 55 minutes plus 1 lap of racing, about to get underway. The championship at stake here. The Ferrari and the Audi side by side, and they get underway, and Liam Lawson has got his nose in front here. Kelvin Van Der Linde tucks into 2nd. Lucas Auer is just about 3rd, but Arjun Maini coming at him, and here comes Kelvin Van Der Linde down the inside into the hairpin, but he goes too deep, goes wide. Liam Lawson has to get out of the way. They're both going to drop down the order. I think into the wall has got Kelvin Van Der Linde. Certainly Vincent Abril has gone into the wall as well. There's a smoking Lamborghini of Esteban Moot which got involved in the contact as well. And it's Philip Ellis, who's a demon starter, who's come out on top on his birthday. Can he get a race win here? Long way to go, but he's at the perfect start. Liam Lawson survives in 2nd, and he's got the ideal man behind him, his new teammate for the weekend, Nick Cassidy, taking over from Alex Albon, then Arjun Maini, and then Maxi Götz on the attack down the inside. At the last turn, the Pick Mercedes about to get through on the exit, but it's been a pretty disastrous opening lap for Kelvin Van Der Linde. He said he was going to go for it early. He did. It didn't work out, I'm afraid. And it's upper hand here to Liam Lawson. But Philip Ellis leads the race at the end of lap 1. Maxi Götz going on the attack side by side with Arjun Maini as well, as they go absolutely hand in hand on the way to the corner. There's contact from behind. Maxi Götz just about survives there and gets out of the turn. Lucas Auer having a big go down the inside of him, and there was definitely a bit of contact there. Arjun Maini holds his position as well, so it is Ellis from Lawson. Then Cassidy in 3rd place, had a great start as well. And then Götz 4th, Maini 5th, Auer in 6th, Kelvin Van Der Linde 7th at the end of lap 1. From his point of view, hopefully not too much damage to the car, but not what he wanted. Slippery surface flag is out, the red and yellow striped flag. And Mike Rockenfeller into the pits. Not a stop, which is one of the mandatory stops, because it's too early for that. So there you go, there you see the illustration. A pit stop here costs you a lap. And if a safety car comes out and you've done your pit stop and you go a lap down, you're not going to get that lap back. You're not going to be waved back through. So this is going to be, if I was one of the championship contenders, I want to get it out of the way early, the pit stop, but we'll see how it fans out. Liam Lawson in 2nd place currently. Now, if Liam Lawson finishes 2nd in the race, Kelvin Van Der Linde needs to finish at least 7th to stay in the championship fight. He is in 7th place at the moment, but he needs to realistically make up ground, and he knows it. Going to change of position on that lap from Nico Muller, who's got into the final points-paying position. Watching Daniel Hungerday now trying to fend him off. Fans waving flags in the background. Dramatic start to the race. Kelvin Van Der Linde with a big go on the way into the Grundigkehre. Philip Ellis, though, the one that's come out on top on the 3rd row of the grid, from 5th place, leading the race. Liam Lawson shadowing him, and with his teammate playing rear gunner just behind. And he's got a job to do here, because Maxi Götz is the one behind him, 3rd in the championship. Now Max has to outscore Liam Lawson by 2 points to stay in the fight. He's having a look there on the way into the Scholler S, through the right, through the left. On the gas he goes, and the Mercedes draws level with the Ferrari now. Absolutely side by side. Is he going to commit to the move? Is he going to get the choice to do that? Because Nick Cassidy is doing his best here to get the Mercedes behind, but through he goes. Side by side for 2 corners there and the entire straight, but Maxi Götz goes through and into 3rd place. No more Mr. Consistency. He's got to go on the attack here, and his next target is the championship leader, who's outscoring him at the moment. So Max Götz has got to get in front of him by the end of this race. No progress for Kelvin Van Der Linde, is still there in 7th place. But you've seen that you can overtake here either side of the circuit. So, Gott's up to 3rd, Cassidy down to 4th, Miney is there in 5th, Auer just behind him in 6th place. Then it's Kelvin Van Der Linde in 7th, Esteban Moot 8th. Nico Muller's got ahead of Hunkadera as well, as you saw from the overhead shot, so that's a change for 9th place. And here comes Philip Ellis. Liam Lawson now, what's he going to do here? Because his mirrors are full of Maximilian Gotts. Gotts can get ahead of him, and they'll still be a long way clear of him in terms of championship points. But is he going to maybe think about defending, or will attacking be the best form of defence here to try and find a way past Philip Ellis? Nick Cassidy trying to come back at Maximilian Gotts here, trying to play the team game, but the Mercedes is still going to be ahead on the way into the first corner. Kelvin Van Der Linde still can't find a way past Lucas Auer. Esteban Moot right behind him, and Nico Muller coming fast as well in the Team Rosberg Audi. So there, Liam Lawson in 2nd place. He's got this points advantage, so he doesn't have to go out and try and win the race. First of the pit stoppers then, Daniel Hunkadea is in, and so too is Sheldon Van Der Linde. His record of bad luck is unbelievable at the moment. He's had 6 retirements from the last 7. The last time in DTM somebody had 6 retirements from 7 races was back in the 1990s, Nicola Larini in Alfa Romeo. It's been a terrible run of bad luck, punctures, broken wheels, accidents. Hopefully he has a better end to the season there. Daniel Hunkadea comes out, and he's going to come right in the middle of the pack now, but of course a lap down, having made his pit stop. That's what it costs you, keeping an eye on the top 4, no change in position at the hairpin. It's all settled down for now. Hunkadea tucking in behind Nico Muller, about a lap down now, but his pit stop is out of the way. It could be critical. Air temperature just under 16 degrees, fairly warm, and there's the paving that you go onto. And you've got to run as close as you can to the walls here to get a quick exit, to get good traction. If you don't, if you stay too far away, you're too slow. And Maxi Gotts down the inside of Liam Lawson. Liam almost waves him through and says, right, I'm not going to get involved in this fight. I don't need to. I'm the championship leader. So Gotts goes through in his home race up to 2nd place, looking for his 2nd DTM victory. Next target for him is going to be Philip Ellis, who's not worried one jot about championship points. He just wants to win the race. He's looking for his 2nd win in DTM as well. So Maxi Gotts into 2nd place, Liam Lawson 3rd, 4th Nick Cassidy, 5th Arjun Miney, 6th Lucas Auer, 7th at the back of the train in that lead group. It's Kelvin Van Der Linde, whose last lap time was a 50.3, which is comparable with the front runners, and he's not going to get any help from Mike Rockenfeller, who is out. I saw him pitting early after the end of the first lap, but he's out presumably with some damage from that first lap and those incidents. So the first retirement, Mike Rockenfeller out of the running. He's got 2 teammates that could help him out, Kelvin Van Der Linde, Sophia Florsch, and the guest driver who can't score points but can take positions, Lucas de Grassi. The former Formula E champion is in 11th place at the moment. Philip Ellis crosses the line, just over half a second clear of Maximilian Gotts, who still want to try and get the race victory here. At the moment, he's staying in championship contention because he is on course for 18 points, 3 more than Liam Lawson. So he'd get the gap down from 29 to 26 points, but only 28 points available. It still gives himself a very, very slim chance at best tomorrow. So the win, the extra 7 points, absolutely critical for him. Philip Ellis, his target. Is he closing the gap? No is the answer. Philip was quicker through the first sector by just about half a tenth of a second. Through the second sector, though, Max gets some of that back. So even Stevens between them. Nick Cassidy is the absolute best first sector time of the race so far, and Vincent Abril makes his pit stop here, his mandatory pit stop, which is going to put him plumb in the middle of the pack once he rejoins. The leaders come through. He goes a lap down then Vincent Abril, but the pit stop is out of the way. None of the championship contenders have yet made their pit stops. And Philip Ellis, by just a couple of tenths of a second, continues to lead the way. Kelvin Van Der Linde's got a bit of breathing space back to Nico Muller, so he's not under too much pressure from Nico. And if Liam Lawson were to finish where he is, 3rd in the race, Kelvin Van Der Linde would need to finish at least 9th to keep the championship fight alive. But he doesn't want to keep it alive, he wants to close the gap and put the New Zealander under pressure. And there we go, down the inside into the lead of the race. Relatively easy move that for Maximilian Gotts, takes the lead away from Philip Ellis. So he's on course now for 25 points, 10 more than Liam Lawson, and that would get the gap from him down to the championship leader, down to 19 points. Replay of the start then. This was the key moment so far. Lawson got a good getaway. He was half a length clear as they went through the first kink, but Kelvin Van Der Linde then had a big go, a big dive down the inside on the way into the hairpin on board with Maximilian Gotz. And that was just behind the incident. There went Kelvin down the inside. Liam had to get out of the way, get off the throttle, and then everybody started to swamp him. And this is how it looked from Kelvin's point of view. There was the gap. He just couldn't get the car slowed down in time. It was a brave effort. But in the end, there was the contact with the wall on the way out of the turn. Just couldn't get back online. Lucas Howe was down the inside of him. Those two made contact, and then Hudson Abril and Esme Hawkey getting in trouble as well. Head in hands time down at Abt Sportsline, but he's still in the fight. How much damage is to the car, though, after that contact with the wall? We saw Esme Hawkey's Lamborghini making contact with the wall. A bit heavier than that, but a similar angle. But that was damage to the car, but he still carries on. We'll go down to the pit lane now, though, and hear from Verena.
Okay, and I'm here with Mike Rockenfeller. Mike, what exactly happened? We didn't see anything. What happened? Why did you have to retire?
At the start, I had a good start, and in corner one, we know it's very tight. And I got squeezed at the exit. I think I gained already a position or two, and then, yeah, my tire, rear right tire was flat, so I had a puncture. Then we came in to stop, but apparently the stop doesn't even count. There's a new rule, so then the race is over, and we decided to stop because I already lost one lap, and then I had to do another stop later on, so we decided to save the tire for tomorrow.
All right, well, thank you so much, Rocky. And back to you.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Right, Philip Ellis now with the queue starting to form up behind him. Liam Lawson looks quicker but doesn't want to take any risks, understandably, but he is back to being in the position where he's got his teammate behind him to give him some cover, although Largemani is not that close at the moment in 5th place. And we got the lead a couple of laps ago. Maximilian Gotz is now 1.3 seconds clear of Philip Ellis. Not teammates, but representing the same brand. Philip Ellis, well, Max Gotz will be very happy if he can let that lead gap grow or allow it to grow. And Philip there comfortably staying ahead of Liam Lawson for now, but Maxi Gotz doing exactly what he needs to here to stay in the fight, on for 25 championship points to bring himself to within 19 of Liam Lawson if it stays like this, the first and third respectively. 6 points come the way of Kelvin Van Der Linde.
Go for it.
So that'll be 24 points between Lawson and Van Der Linde as it stands, with only 28 available tomorrow. No doubt about it, Kelvin has got to turn this around. He's still mathematically in the fight if it stays like this, but he's got to close the gap, not let it grow any further. Marco Wittmann up to 12th place, a couple in the pits, of course, but he's just got ahead of Timo Glock. Real shame for Mike Rockenfeller. Remember, he's in his penultimate DTM race with Audi. Hasn't ruled out coming back to DTM next year, but it won't be with Audi after 15 years together and huge success, including the championship title in 2013. Cassidy there on a different line to his teammates Liam Lawson as they go across the start-finish line. Again, Miney not that close. So is he going to take the risk here, Liam Lawson? He doesn't need to. He really doesn't. Although Gotz is taking points away from him, he's got a big, healthy advantage over Maximilian Gotz in terms of points, although Max at the moment would move up to become his closest rival. He move on to 205 points as it stands. 200 for Van Der Linde, 224 for the man you ride on board with now, Liam Lawson. Be relieved to see that number 23 Ferrari in his mirrors. Nick Cassidy, fellow Kiwi, great experience, Formula E of late, but huge experience in single-seaters initially. Came across him, multiple race winner in Formula 3 European Championship, and going off to get success in Japan, Japanese F3 Super GT titles. He's done a super job here in his first time driving that Ferrari in qualifying and race conditions. You can see how the gap has grown massively. And you just get the sense that Liam Lawson, who was the quickest in qualifying, is being sensible here and just sitting behind and not taking any unnecessary risks. He knows he's got a really good team behind him as well, who can gain in positions with their very quick pit stops. Maximilian Buch comes in and was returned to DTM after missing last weekend, and a luck at the inside there for Liam Lawson as he went into Dutzendijk Curve, named after the local park, which is making it part of the paddock this weekend. So Buch is going to come out in that second group of cars There's the leader, number 4, Max Gotts. Second, Philip Ellis, number 57. Third and fourth, the 2 Ferraris. Liam Lawson, the championship leader. Nick Cassidy, on his DTM debut. Arjun Maini in 5th place, looking strong as well. Of course, his best result so far in DTM. He's had one top 6 finish so far. That came at Spielberg. And behind him, Lucas Auer. He's got the heavy car, remember, with 25 kilograms of success ballast on board. Through the Scholler S. Follow your leader through there, really. Unless you're Esteban Moot, who's just diving through there to make sure he gets his line on the way through the corner and doesn't lose any time behind Max Book, who's just come out of the pits, and he's a lap down, remember. Daniel Hunkadea overtakes him. That is for position because they've both made their pit stops. So that's a change for 16th place. Daniel Hunkadea getting through, the Spanish driver for the Hong Kong-based team Group M Racing. Well, had success in the 2019 FIA GT World Finals at Macau, where they took a victory with Raffaele Marciello, so they know all about street racing at Group M. Maxi Gotts 3 seconds clear now at the head of the field. Super slow-mo of getting it swapped around there, I'm afraid, for the rocket-backed Lamborghini of Esme Hawkey, but she avoided the wall. That change of surface, it really can catch you out very quickly indeed. But Esme controls it well and will be back on her way, back into contention. Her first visit to the Norisring, the end of her first season of DTM. Team T3 Motorsport already confirming that they are going to be back next year with 2, possibly 3-car entry. And we've also had confirmation that Amped are going to be back in DTM next year with at least 2 cars, and one of them will be driven by Kelvin Van Der Linde, who's already signed up for 2022. Will it be as champion? We'll find out at the end of this weekend. He needs to make some progress, but he doesn't seem to be able to force his way through at the moment. Bit of side-by-side action just behind, involving Lucas de Grassi, who's just about holding on to the, or trying to hold on to the last of the positions inside the points. That 10th place, Marco Wittmann behind him in 11th position in the Volkenhorst BMW with 0 to lose in this race. And there, again, just showing his nose in the Ferrari is Liam Lawson. But he's not going to throw it up the inside and risk these points. 15 points is fine. Another podium finish is fine. He would have a lighter car than he had for this race. He'd have less success ballast on board for race 2. After the spin, Esme Hawkey comes in the T3 Motorsport Lamborghini. We've got Dev Gore on his first visit to the Norisring, making his mandatory pit stop as well. Already with the 1 pit stop to make. Tyres changed. Action down at the hairpin as Esteban Moot has to give way on the way into the turn. So Lucas de Grassi did get through. He's up to 9th. Esteban Moot was in 10th place, but that now possibly has gone away from him for the time being. We've got Lucas Auer under pressure here from Nico Muller. Now, has Van Der Linde got through? Yes, he has. Van Der Linde is ahead of Lucas Auer, so he's 6th now. So he's gained a couple of extra championship points back, having been stuck behind Lucas Auer in his heavy car for a long time. He's made the break for it, and through the shadows, it was Lucas just going a little bit wide at the hairpin. Understandably so, with that 25 kilograms of success ballast on board. So that is where the Grandin Kera into 6th place went Kelvin Van Der Linde. We'll see what his true pace is like now, because he's going to have a clear lap or two to bridge what's become a pretty large gap up to the next car, which is Arjun Maini's Get Speed Mercedes in 5th place. So 6th place absolutely keeps him in the fight, but he's still, of course, losing points to Liam Lawson as it stands. But he'll get 8 points instead of 6 now, and if it stays like this, he'll be 22 points behind with 1 qualifying session, 1 race, and 28 points remaining. So it'll be still a mountain to climb. We'd need an almost perfect day, and for Liam Lawson to have a disaster. It's going, as it stands, down to the final day of the season. There's Liam Lawson, just sitting tight for now. Pit lane speed under investigation for Esme Hawkey. So they're going to look at that. Philip Ellis still with his mirrors full of these 2 Ferraris, Liam Lawson and Nick Cassidy. Arjun Maini coming at them now as well. And in the background, getting closer, is Kelvin Van Der Linde, who released... Oh, Philip Ellis into a spin. Goes around. Is he collected? They all come past him, but Philip Ellis spins. I think they've just about avoided him. So Liam Lawson, that changes again. Now moves up to 2nd. Cassidy up to 3rd. Maini up to 4th. And Van Der Linde moving up to 5th place. He's going to rejoin just in front of, or at least alongside, Marco Wittmann, who won't need a second invitation. Marco dives down the inside. And there's Max Buch, who's a lap down, having made his pit stop, going side by side with Esteban Moot. So, just went a bit too tight on the way in through the Scholler S. And as he dragged it back across onto the line, I think he just clipped the front right of Liam Lawson's car. But he was offline going into the Scholler S, which was what put him wide in the first place. As he tried to get back onto the line. Let's have a look from this angle. Hard to tell. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of contact there. Liam was just on the racing line. Philip was trying to scramble back onto it. And we got Kelvin Van Der Linde into the pits. Critical stop then for him. Philip Ellis comes in just in front. He's going to get out in front of him.
Remember the yellow line in pit exit.
Now, will he be able to get a clear
Lawson
track?
is in the start-finish line now.
He comes out, Ellis comes out, Cassidy coming through, and Gotts and Lawson have both come into the pits. That's why they weren't coming into your shots, so sort of works out nicely for Kelvin Van Der Linde because he doesn't rejoin in the pack, and he's still just about on the lead lap because Nick Cassidy has become the new race leader for now with Arjun Maini second, Lucas Auer third, with Gotts and Lawson into the pits. Gotts has already made his stop. Remember, he was 3.5, 4 seconds clear before they came in, so Gotts should be the virtual leader when he comes out.
Do the job. Take it easy, no mistake, everything will be fine.
In front of the temporary garages, Liam Lawson is released. There's Sheldon Van Der Linde coming through. Maxi Gotts
Line of pit exit.
out.
Users are coming now to the start finish now.
Clear track. Lawson out next. Kelvin Van Der Linde is next up.
All about tire warm-up.
Van Der Linde still trying to fend off Nick Cassidy here. Still trying to stay ahead of him and on the lead lap effectively. So the top three in your shot have just about done that within the lap. So they're not quite gone a lap down. But in terms of virtual leaders, it is Gotts. He's made his pit stop. He's the first of the pit stoppers. Then Lawson, then Kelvin Van Der Linde. But he's got to try and keep Nick Cassidy, who's the race leader, behind him. Nick yet to make his pit stop, and the Ferrari getting ever closer there as they go out of the shot as he gets through. Lucas Auer into the pits now as well. And Esme Hawkey back in. Drive-through penalty for Esme Hawkey, so she was speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. As Lucas Auer now rejoins, going to be behind Gotts.
Lawson coming next to you. Gotts ahead of you, Lawson coming next to you.
Yes, he is, not far behind here. And out wide on cold tyres goes Lucas Auer, but he's trying to be second, virtual second here. Meanwhile, Kelvin Van Der Linde just about keeps, crucially, Nick Cassidy behind him. And still, he stays on the lead lap here. So the top 4 pit stoppers have all remained on the lead lap, and everybody behind them have still got to make a stop. Maxi Gotts looking strong here, but Lucas Auer somehow has managed to come out with a great pit stop and a great in and out lap ahead of Liam Lawson, but not for long maybe. Liam now going on the attack in the Ferrari side by side with the Mercedes. He can't take too many risks here. He's the championship leader, but he could also see Kelvin Van Der Linde in his mirrors, and now he gets a better exit, gets better traction, draws alongside the Mercedes. They're going side by side here. This is for a net second place. He's just about got his nose in front. They've both got success ballast on the car, but the Ferrari has slightly less after finishing second to Lucas Auer in the last race. He's got the inside line for the hairpin. He's not quite ahead yet, but he will be now. And look at Kelvin Van Der Linde right on them. So second, third and fourth net they are. They won't show that on the timing screen as yet because they have got their pit stops done. Everybody else behind them, including Nick Cassidy, hasn't yet. So Nick is in a slightly odd situation, just behind them on the road, but he is the race leader in the 23 Ferrari. Arjun Maini, the next of the lead group to come in and make a pit stop. And there you can see Kelvin Van Der Linde has got the bit between his teeth down the inside of Lucas Auer into the Datsun Daikera. He goes, he gets the Audi ahead of the Mercedes. It's a clean move, he gets a clean exit, and he gets ahead. So that puts him up to a net third, and look who's right in front of him now, Liam Lawson, who he needs to catch, and really doesn't need to pass him to keep the championship alive mathematically, but he needs to keep ahead of him and outscore him to give himself the best possible chance. But now Nick Cassidy has got ahead of Lucas Auer in the Ferrari. He's getting on terms with him as well. So Cassidy's your race leader. Kelvin Van Der Linde has made his pit stop on his 10th, and he's desperately trying to stay on the lead lap here, not to lose any time. Cassidy really coming into play here. And there's nobody to help Kelvin Van Der Linde in terms of his teammates, with Mike Rockenfeller out after that first lap contact. So he's all on his own. He's got to fight his corner here, the South African. And Arjun Maini looks like has come out just in front of Liam Lawson as well. So Gotts, Maini, Lawson, the top 3 net.
Clear, clear. Go, go, go. Pitch speed limit. Wide line on exit. We're good.
Whatever happens, he's got to finish at least second. Marco Wittmann to have any chance, and that still relies on others having disasters. So he's still fighting hard here. And that was the moment that Liam Lawson went on the attack, coming out of the corner side by side with Lucas Auer. And Arjun Maini has had a very good pit stop, so Götz is the leading pit stopper from Maini. In that battle between Lawson, Auer and Van Der Linde. Here he is then, Arjun Maini in the Indian tricolour, orange, white and green on the Get Speed Mercedes, looking for his first ever DTM podium. Done a superb job so far, the ex-Formula 3 racer. Flashing headlights then on the Ferrari of Liam Lawson. This is a battle for net second place. Götz is well down the road, but Liam Lawson now gets a bit of a hurry up because the situation changes. You can see Kelvin Van Der Linde right behind him. He doesn't want to give any points away unnecessarily. Although, again, he's got to weigh things up here. He could still afford to finish a place or two behind Kelvin and still have big advantage. Nico Müller comes into the pits now from what was 5th place. So Cassidy leads, De Gracia 2nd, Sophia Florsch 3rd, Timo Glock 4th. They've all got to make their pit stops. And then it'll be Max Götz moving up to 5th, but he's realistically the leader. He's the leading pit stopper, and he's a long way clear of this battle for a net second place. Maini just edging away. There's Maximilian Götz. Where are they all, he says? Somewhere in the distance in the mirrors. Be a very, very happy Franconian if he can get a victory here in his home race. He's a long way clear, coming halfway towards the Choleres before they get into the hairpin here. There's Nico Müller rejoining, but on cold tyres, of course, which will take a while to get up to speed. And Sheldon Van Der Linde into the pits, and this does not look like a scheduled stop, I'm afraid. It's his 2nd time into the pits, and his woeful luck continues. That's going to be 7 retirements from the last 8 now. He's got the unenviable record of having the worst luck ever in DTM, I think, because nobody has had a record like that before, 7 retirements out of 8. There's Kelvin Van Der Linde's dad, Sean, who was here last weekend with his mum Bernie, watching on. They've come for the last 2 events. Looking a bit tense, but it's looking a bit more positive than it was for Kelvin after the first corner, isn't it? He's back in the fight here, back into contention, but he's behind the Ferrari. He needs to be in front of the Ferrari. That being the Red Bull liveried Ferrari of Liam Lawson. The one he's got to outscore, really, to give himself the best possible chance going into tomorrow. As it stands, they are a net 3rd and 4th, so it'd be 15 points coming the way of Lawson, 12 points coming the way of Kelvin Van Der Linde as we get the head-to-head onboard shot in their offices. Probably the most relaxed people involved in this championship fight. Everybody on the fray, the team, friends, fans, family, all stressing out probably a lot more than these two. And they're just doing their job now in the zone, as is this man, Maximilian Götz. Always so laid back and positive vibes on the grid from Maxi, a popular character, and he certainly looks like he's doing all he can to keep himself in the championship fight, which he will do if he wins the race and stays ahead. Even if Liam Lawson were to get into 2nd place, he's still outscoring him by more than 2 points, so he's still in the championship fight going down into the final day of the season. This is the 15th round of 16, 27 3/4 minutes left on the clock, plus 1 lap. Maini edging away from Lawson. Van Der Linde hasn't quite got the pace to be able to keep with the Ferrari as it stands. There's not much in it, but the gap is just creeping out. And remember, there's 18 kilograms of ballast on the Ferrari of Lawson. There's 0 ballast on the Audi of Kelvin Van Der Linde. But you have to look at how he's outperforming the car to some extent, because there are no Audis anywhere near fighting for a podium. So there, a live update on the points. Van Der Linde stays 2nd for now, but only by a single point from Maximilian Götz. And 18 adrift, with 28 still up for grabs of Liam Lawson. And through they come, over the bumps. There's 1 or 2 autumnal leaves falling as well. At this later time of year, we normally come here in July, but because of the pandemic, it had to be postponed. We're all delighted it's happened though here at Nuremberg. It's a really special place to come, one of my favourite tracks to visit, even though it's only a track for this one weekend every year. 1947, the first time they ran motorsport here. So various layouts over the years. There was even a figure of 8 layout once, but this format of the track, 2.3 kilometres long, has been used ever since 1971. And it's given us some really cool races over the years. It's all feeling a bit sort of tense and edgy out there, isn't it? And a couple of moments sparked by Kelvin Van Der Linde initially, of course, at the start of the race where he went for it, but just feels a little bit sort of cagey. Nobody wants to make a mistake. Nobody can afford to make a mistake. You almost feel the tension. But at some point, even though he's in a position to stay in the championship fight, you get the sense that Kelvin is really going to have to try something again. Is he once bitten, twice shy, though, because when he tried the move at the start of the race, it didn't quite pay off. And that's what put him on the back foot. Esme Hawkey, I'm afraid, looks like she's going to join Sheldon Van Der Linde and Mike Rockenfeller in the list of retirees. Still 25 minutes left on the clock. Maximilian Gotz is 7.1 seconds clear of Arjun Maini, what is effectively the battle for the lead of the race. But it's pretty close there behind. Now, Kelvin Van Der Linde, having overtaken Lucas Hauer a few minutes ago, or 5 or 6 minutes ago. Now he's got the Mercedes coming back at him a little bit here. He's definitely losing ground to Liam Lawson. Liam's last lap was a 49.7. Kelvin's was a 50.0. 3/10 quicker on that lap for Liam Lawson. You can see the gap growing all the time, and you can see that the Audi, the number 3 Audi of Kelvin Van Der Linde, just slipping backwards a little bit here. Nick Cassidy, still the race leader, remember, but he's yet to pit. So that's the car directly behind the number 3 of Kelvin Van Der Linde. That's your leader. Lucas de Grassi in the Audi is in 2nd place. Sophia Florsch is 3rd. Timo Glock 4th, but none of them have made their pit stops. It's going to cost them about a lap when they do. There's the red, yellow and green Audi of former Formula E champion Lucas de Grassi in the back of the shot. That's the driver that's 2nd on the road. Nearly 3 seconds adrift of Nick Cassidy, who leads. And his strategy, his pit stop, is going to be based around how much it's going to be able to help Liam Lawson out here rather than anything else. He's not in it for championship points, so they can score them. He's not a guest driver, he's a replacement driver, so when Nick gets in the points, he'll keep the points. Whereas a guest driver, and there's only one this weekend, which is Lucas de Grassi, everybody moves ahead of them, moves up one in terms of points scored. So if Lucas de Grassi wins the race and Liam Lawson would have finished 2nd, Liam would still get 25 points for the win. And that's the only one. And on board with the virtual leader then, Maximilian Gotz, flinging the car around these narrow confines. You've still got to stay utterly focused, because one tiny glitch, one tiny moment, get on the power a fraction too early and that wall awaits. So in a sense, it's a tougher job being the race leader. You feel like you've got it under control, but you can't afford to switch off.
Left-hand evolution or very hard to pop it?
It's okay, your pace is good. The gap is stable, or you are slightly increasing the gap, so everything is fine. Pace is perfect, save the car.
You're all cool, says Max Gutz, his race engineer. You can just save the car a bit here. 7.4 seconds clear of Arjun Maini. He's going to make India very, very proud indeed if he can get a 2nd place finish here, get on the podium. He's looking controlled, isn't he? The gap from Maini to Lawson almost a 2nd now. There he is, Arjun going through shot in the number 36 Mercedes. Liam Lawson is a net 3rd. And the gap from Lawson to Kelvin Van Der Linde is about the same, 0.9 seconds, just under 1 second. Great shot here from the inside of the course. See just how close to get to these concrete walls. Liam Lawson not in a position where he needs to take any risks. This is all going his way at the moment. He's not going to seal the championship, but he's going to extend his lead over Kelvin Van Der Linde. It's not to be written out of this just yet, though. It looks like Marco Wittmann is going to be out of it. And here we go, Nick Cassidy trying to get ahead of Kelvin Van Der Linde to put a lap onto the number 3 car. Kelvin stands strong. He's got to keep that Ferrari behind him. It's not for a change of position, but if you get stuck behind the Ferrari, you can just tell that it's not going to be easy to get the place back, can't you? It's going to become a very wide Ferrari if Nick can get ahead of him. Trying his best here to put his teammate's championship rival under as much pressure as he can. In the background, there might have been a move coming there Yes, I think there was, because Lucas di Grassi, well, not for position, but it's just been overtaken by Nico Muller. And this was the moment, just a little bit of contact, bit of carbon fibre splinters coming off the Ferrari more than the Audi, I think, from the front right corner. But you've not got any room to play with there on the exit, especially if you're in the Audi position of Kelvin Van Der Linde there, sandwiched between a car and a wall. Deep breaths, survives for now. This is not what he wanted from second on the grid. At the moment, he's not going to finish on the podium, he's going to lose points to Liam Lawson. He's going to stay in the fight, but he's going to have an even steeper uphill climb coming into the final race day of the season. There you can see Arjun just creeping away from Liam Lawson. Pit stop was very good, wasn't it? 6.5 seconds from Team Get Speed. It's amongst the best we've seen so far this season. 6.5 second pit stop is very, very good indeed. So well done to the team. That's what helped to get him ahead. Gave him a second, really, in the pit stops. And Arjun driving very well indeed. Blue flag's being waved. Philip Ellis has just gained a place ahead of Esteban Moots up to 13th, the former race leader. Dev Gore given the blue flag. Arjun comes through. Team Rosberg car stays well out of the way. The American giving everybody plenty of room there. Sensible driving, so they all come past with no problems at all. So 20 minutes plus 1 lap to go in this penultimate round of the championship, round 15 here. It's all feeling a bit tense and edgy at the DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. It's going the way in terms of the race win and the points for Maximilian Götz. But this is more than good enough at the moment for Liam Lawson, not to wrap up the title, but to almost get one hand on the trophy with a day to go. Kelvin Van Der Linde, has he got anything left in the car? You wonder if he's carrying a bit of damage maybe after that lap 1 incident, the clip with the wall, after he ran wide, going for the lead on Liam Lawson. Found Lucas Auer alongside him as he came out of the turn, tried to scramble back on line and then clipped the wall. And just wonder if it's not 100% the car. But anyway, he's fighting on and he's still managing to keep Nick Cassidy at bay. In the background, Lucas Auer has got Daniel Hunkadea behind him. That would be a battle for a net 5th place. Nico Muller in that scrap as well, looking to finally score some good points here. Back of the shot, Lucas di Grassi, who's actually in 2nd place and almost a lap up on those cars. So the top 4 in the race, Cassidy, di Grassi, Florsch, Glock still haven't made a pit stop. They're going long, praying that there's not a safety car as well, because that would completely ruin their chances of a good result. Max Götz in 5th place is your real race leader though, and he is now 8.1 seconds clear of Arjun. Kelvin Van Der Linde doesn't want to worry about trying to fend off Nick Cassidy. He wants to get away from him and catch the car ahead if he can, but it's just not happening at the moment. Max Götz goes through, all on his own again, and that's the gap he's got over the next 2nd place car of Arjun. They're 5th and 6th at the moment, but they will become 1st and 2nd. Then Lawson, who's a net 3rd, a net 4th for the number 3 of Kelvin Van Der Linde, and the actual race leader at the moment right behind him, almost a lap up, number 23, Nick Cassidy. Still nose to tail as they make their way out of the Grundig Cara over the bumps. Miney controlling that gap back to Liam Lawson, 0.9 seconds between them. So potentially 12 points coming the way of Kelvin Van Der Linde, 15 the way of Liam Lawson, 25 to Götz, 2.24 for Lawson, 2.06 for Van Der Linde, and 2.05 for Max Götz. 19 points between the top 3 in the championship, 28 still available. Stays like this, it goes down to the final day of the season, but with a big advantage for Liam Lawson, looking to become a champion in his 1st ever season of DTM, his 1st ever season of racing anything with a roof on it. It's quite remarkable. Ron Reichart, who's the sporting director at AF Corse, Red Bull AF Corse, talking about Liam Lawson yesterday. He said he couldn't believe it when he got in the car for the first time ever for the test. He was just massively quick straight away. Got out of the car, asked what can I do then to improve, had a look at the data, got a couple of bits of advice as to where he could go even quicker, went out and did it straight away. And then they knew they got a real star on their hands. competing as well in the FIA Formula 2 Championship this year, which has already been a winner and on the podium. And the pole sitter as well, I think. So a bright future awaits. It's been a pleasure to watch the battles this year between Liam Lawson, Kelvin Van Der Linde, Maximilian Gotz and others. Philip Ellis then trying to recover from that earlier spin. And he was on for a possible podium finish. Can he get some silverware on his birthday? Marco Wittmann still trying to be in the fight. He's 15th, but that could move up to 11th with the four that lead at the moment still to make their pit stops. But again, it looks like it could still be another race, another session without any championship points for Marco, who's so consistent. Once we did the first couple of rounds of the championship, you can see the Ferrari through the apex of the hairpin there, closes up to the Audi. Cassidy, again, not quite close enough though, coming out of Dutzendijkjaren over the start-finish line of this 2.3 kilometre long circuit then, and heading down towards the Grundigkjaren, where all the drama kicked off at the start of the race. Lucas Auer still keeping Daniel Hunkedaer behind in the battle for net fifth. Nico Muller third in that group in the Team Rosberg silver and red and black Audi, and then behind them the multicoloured Audi of a driver that's actually second at the moment, but yet to pit, Lucas de Grassi, one of the few drivers that's raced here before, albeit in Formula 3 and the Audi TT Cup. A great unknown having this street circuit as the last round of the championship. Gives an extra edge of unpredictability about this final 2 days of what's been a fascinating 2021 season. 15 minutes plus 1 lap to go then for Liam Lawson to stay where he is, and he's looking good for a podium finish. Kelvin Van Der Linde has got no answer to him at the moment in that Audi. Well, he's busy with the wrong Ferrari, if you like. It's not the Ferrari he wants to be battling. What he really wants, what he really needs, I think, is for Liam Lawson to get into a fight with Arjun Maini, but Arjun is keeping that gap steady. Just about 0.8 of a second, so it's come down a little bit. But you know Liam Lawson is unlikely to take a big risk to try and get past Arjun. He doesn't need it, he doesn't need the points, the extra points. Certainly not worth the risk when you weigh it all up. Although that gap looks like it's come down again up ahead between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Certainly on the way into the corner. Q forming up now behind Lucas Auer in the battle for the net fifth between Hunkedaer and Muller. None of them worried about championship points. Lukey doing a good job here with a heavy car, 25 kilograms of ballast on board the number 22 Winward Mercedes. So it's looking like very, very late pit stops for Cassidy, de Grassi and Florsch and Glock as well. Timo Glock, I guess you've got not much to lose really, trying to wrestle this BMW around. Leading BMW at the moment, but going to lose either just under or just over a lap when he comes and makes his stop. So just looking to try and get some points really, Timo. A tough season for him. And a tough end to the year for anybody really aboard a BMW at Hockenheim and here at Norisring. So it's steady as she goes for now, with the gap from net second to net third creeping down a little bit. And you can see Liam Lawson getting ever closer to the tail of Arjun Maini. And you can hear the whispers at home as everybody in New Zealand closes their eyes, clenches their fist. Don't take a risk, Liam. Don't take a risk. Don't get too close. But he's okay. He knows what he's doing. Through he goes. Just get the feeling there's more speed to be unleashed, but Liam is just sitting on his hands at the moment, just thinking about the points, the championship. Because he was absolutely blindingly quick in that qualifying session this morning. He's been quick from the word go, really. He had his first time in the street circuit. And through they come to complete another lap. 51 laps in the books now for Nick Cassidy. You go round and round and round. 50 or less second laps here. Without safety cars, could be looking at a 70-plus lap race. On board then with Liam Lawson, the championship leader, shadowing now Arjun Maini in the battle for a net second.
Ignore this is not our problem. We keep calm, no risk with Maini. 16 laps to go after this one.
No risk. Don't take any risks, Liam. Just getting a bit of guidance from the team there. Just concentrate on your job, what you're doing. Margin Miney not exactly holding him up. The gap from Lawson to Van Der Linde is 1.6 seconds. Van Der Linde has just done a personal best lap time, 49.549 seconds, only just under a tenth quicker than Liam Lawson, but he's obviously got some pace still, or has found a bit of pace. Looked after the tyres maybe, but Kelvin Van Der Linde not out of it yet. You're on board with Maximilian Gotz, who is 5th on the road, but will become the net leader, become the overall leader once the 4 ahead of him make their mandatory pit stops, which is going to have to be pretty soon with less than 11 minutes left on the clock. So with the grid hatchings he goes, and there's the advantage he's got over Margin Miney. He's still keeping a keen eye on the mirrors, but probably aware of the fact that Liam's unlikely to take a big risk to get past him. So he doesn't need to go too defensive here, unless Liam starts to feel the strain from behind with Kelvin Van Der Linde, who goes through with a 49.5 again on that lap. So takes another tenth of a second away. His personal best lap the lap before. That's his second best lap of the race, and the gap from Lawson to Van Der Linde down a little bit more, still 1.5 seconds, but just maybe start to feel a bit of momentum coming back his way now, Kelvin. Liam won't be stressing out just yet though, although he won't want to get delayed through many corners by the Mercedes of Margin Miney. He's maybe just beginning to struggle a little bit with the tyres now. They're all fairly early pit stoppers, weren't they? 10 minutes to go. It's going to be 10 long minutes this for Liam Lawson. Although, again, he just gives off this air of being pretty calm and pretty cool, doesn't he? On board with your virtual leader, Maximilian Gotz, who's absolutely nailed this race, hasn't he? Done what he needed to do, all he could do, really. Go out and win the race. Keep yourself in the fight, you never know. But this will feel special. The first win for Max Gotz in what's his 3rd season of DTM came in the 2nd weekend of the season at the Lausitzring. That would have felt hugely special, but I've got a suspicion this might be even better for him, given that it's his home circuit. And with the fans, of course, here to watch on. Margin Miney just seems to have got a bit of a hurry up now. They're on the AF Corsa pit wall. And continue to advise. 13 laps to go, they reckon, for Liam Lawson. Teammate Nick Cassidy still leads from De Grassi, Florschert and Glott. They're going to make their pit stops very soon. Gap from Cassidy to De Grassi, 5.1 seconds, so there's no threat there. But it's all about the other Ferrari currently, looking to extend his championship lead to 18 points. .15 at the start of the race, 18 it would become, but with Max Gotz much closer than he was, and still very much in contention. The 3 of them stays like this going to the final day, just 19 points apart. 1 point between Kelvin Van Der Linde and Maximilian Gotz. But for Kelvin, there's no real danger of losing this 4th place. Yes, he's got Nick Cassidy right behind him, but he's not really racing Nick because of the pit stop strategies. So his next proper rival is Lucas Auer, who is over 4 seconds behind him. So the 4th place looks secure, but his frustration is that he cannot get closer, or close enough to the Ferrari of Liam Lawson to try and take some points away from him. If he could get ahead of him, he'd score 3 more, and Liam would score 3 fewer. So it'd be a 6-point swing, and it'd be a 12-point advantage for Liam Lawson instead of 18. Sounds a much better proposition for Kelvin Van Der Linde, but just doesn't seem to have the pace in the car, and unfortunately for him, to do any more than he is doing at the moment. And he comes through, looking good still then in a net 2nd place. They've done all they can down at the teams now. Get speed, looking for not just Margin Miney's first ever podium, it's the team's first podium in DTM, of course, as well. And a single car team as well. A terrific job this weekend, all weekend long, as Argent had the speed really from the get-go in DTM. And certainly some free practice sessions and qualifying sessions. He's topped the time several times, been there or thereabouts. Races haven't always gone his way. 1 or 2 things have gone wrong. Tried the manoeuvre and didn't put it off at Hockenheim. but the speed is absolutely there, and he's driven beautifully today. He's keeping the championship leader behind him, looking for his first podium in DTM. Just got to keep on top of it, but he looks, the 23-year-old, completely under control in this race. Liam Lawson shows his nose a little bit there, but nothing too intentional. Just to try and keep the pressure up, just to really keep Arjun on his toes and make sure that he doesn't drop the pace, because he doesn't want Kelvin Van Der Linde to get too close to him at all. Confirmation of the points that we've been talking about, and the fact that Marco Wittmann is now mathematically going to be out of it, I'm afraid, after it's been 3/4 of a very, very good season for Marco and Volkenhorst. He want to come back to DTM next year with a 2-car entry if they can, and maybe more modern next upgrade of the BMW. So when Nick Cassidy, the race leader, number 23, going to come in and make his pit stop. Not yet is the answer. He stays out, crosses the line again. I think Degrassi staying out as well. So they're not going to get to use new tyres to any avail. It's just about trying to stretch away from the ones they're really racing against, lower down the points as much as they can before they come and make that pit stop. See the gaps hovering at around 3 to 5 tenths of a second between Arjun Maini and Liam Lawson. It goes up, it comes down, it goes up again. Liam just sitting tight, not taking any risks. At the end of the day, nobody cares how many wins you got, or how many podiums you got, or how many trophies you won, just whether you won the title or not. That's the thing that goes on your record, and that is what he's trying to do. He's showing great maturity here. Get the sense if this was round 1 of the championship, he might have a go, but he doesn't need to. 5 minutes to go then, and 1 lap on top of that. Still the top 4 to make their pit stops. This then your virtual leader in 5th place. Matt Scott's 7.3 seconds clear. He was more than 8 seconds clear of Arjun Maini at one point, but we heard on the team radio him saying, look, we don't need to go flat out anymore, just stay on top of it, but bring the car home, look after the car. If he wins the race, of course, he'll have 25 kilograms of success ballast on board for tomorrow, which is going to make life tricky. That's Lucas Auer.
Audi in front of me. Yeah, laps down, laps down. Glock, he did not beat yet. Glock did not beat yet. Go is 2 laps down.
Yeah, just trying to get a sense of where he is. It's Timo Glock that's ahead of him. And he is ahead of him on the road, but he doesn't need to worry about him because of the fact that he's got to make his pit stop. He's just gone past him as well, so Glock's either got a problem or he's stayed well out of the way there and got off the throttle. Scott has cleared him anyway to move up to 4th place, with Timo still to make his pit stop in the sole remaining Rover Racing BMW. Great aerial shot there, overlooking the Steiner Tribune there, 360 metres long, the main grandstand that runs alongside the start-finish line here at Nürnberg. Natural amphitheatre, the sounds all around, brilliant atmosphere here this final weekend of the season from the fans that have missed coming here. And slowly into the pit lane goes Timo Glock. I think he's perhaps bound for retirement, because I think he was very slow when Gotts went past him, so I think it's going to be retirement, unfortunately, a double retirement for him. Into the pits he goes. I'm not sure he's going to come back out, we'll see. But either way, everybody was shoved up 1 place. Cassidy, Degrassi, Florschert, the only 3 that have yet to make their pit stops. They're going to have to do it soon. 3 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Once they've done that, it'll be Gotts, Maini, Lawson, your top 3. And yeah, retirement. They're not ready with new tyres for Timo. So another disappointing race for Timo Glock. It's been his worst season in DTM so far in terms of the results that he's been able to score. Took him a while to get championship points, which he did a few times, but there you go, end of the race. More disappointment for Rover Racing. Great endurance racing success in the past with that car. Nürburgring 24 hours amongst other events. Right, Van Der Linde just got a bit of a spurt on here, suddenly a lot closer to Liam Lawson, because Kelvin has just done his best lap of the race. It's another 49.5. So he's keeping up that pace, whereas Liam has dropped to a 49.8 last time around. And suddenly the gap on track between Lawson and Van Der Linde is almost halved over the last couple of laps. It's come down to just under 8 tenths of a second. Not quite close enough to strike, but you get the sense if he gets a chance, he's going to go for it, Kelvin Van Der Linde. He's got the bit between his teeth, so now it starts to get a bit more stressful for Liam Lawson, who now thinks, come on, Arjun, hurry up, because behind me, this Audi is coming, and I don't like the look of that. I know what he's going to do. He tried it at the start of the race. He's going to try it again, so Liam doesn't want to invite trouble. He wants to get that Mercedes going as much as he can by keeping the Ferrari as close to Arjun as he can, almost pushing him out of the corners here. Can Nick Cassidy get involved as well? But soon he's going to have to come into the pits and won't be able to provide any kind of help or cover for Liam Lawson. Lawson then in the Red Bull AF Corsa Ferrari on 4 at the moment, 3rd place in the race. 4th place going to Kelvin Van Der Linde, but the gap coming down between them. Less than a second now. Amato Ferrari and everybody at AF Corsa stressing out. So too Hans-Jürgen Abt, Thomas Biermeier and everybody down at Abt Sportsline. Becoming a bit more edgy than it was, but the time is almost out, like 50 seconds left on the clock. Leader's already long since gone through, or the virtual leader. So he'll be starting the next lap with a few seconds left on the clock. Then the clock will run out, then another lap after that.
3 laps to go.
There you go, 3 to go. Keeping Liam informed, but without bombarding him with information. And Cassidy and Florsch come into the pits now. So Lucas de Grassi picks up the lead of the race, but he's got a pit in the next lap or two to make the mandatory stop before the end of the race. And Max Gortz is going to move up to 2nd for now. Will become 1st very shortly, and this will become the battle for 2nd place. Now remember, it's a lap, isn't it? So where's Nick Cassidy going to come out? He could still come out even amongst the cars he just left. 8.4 seconds, there he is. Is he going to come out right in front of Kelvin Van Der Linde? He's going to be behind Liam Lawson. Yes, I think he is. He's going to come out in front of Van Der Linde. Critical and take points away, potentially, from Kelvin. Kelvin now tries to get alongside him, gets on the accelerator. Bit of contact on the way out of the corner. But they have worked that out absolutely beautifully at AF Corsa. They've got Nick Cassidy out just in front of Liam Lawson's big rival. So he goes from a net 4th down to a net 5th place. Still in the championship fight because Liam Lawson is not winning the race, but still that's more critical points lost. Instead of getting 12, he's now going to get 10 points potentially. And that would put him behind Max Gortz in the championship fight as well. By 1 point instead of being 1 point in front of him.
You want to play like this?
Good move. Good move. You stay there.
Van Der Linde through. Back to 12 points. Back to 4th place. Not happy, as you can hear. Is this how they want to play it, he says. You can tell he's fighting for everything here. Squeezing through. Just, but more contacts as he came through.
One lap after this one.
That was a proper lunge, wasn't it, from Kelvin Van Der Linde? Fighting for every single point he can get. Meanwhile, last lap for Maxi Gortz. De Grassi's come into the pits. Checkered flag awaits. And for the 2nd time this season, Max Gortz is a winner. He's happy. He takes the flag. Roger Miney comes home 2nd for his 1st DTM podium. Liam Lawson crosses the line 3rd. Kelvin Van Der Linde 4th.
P3, mate, P3. Very good job, very good job. We'll finish this tomorrow.
And there's a delighted Maximilian Gortz. You can see the beaming eyes. Lights up the tyres. His 2nd DTM win.
This was great. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Of a home race, winning a DTM race. Coming from P5 and kick some ass today. So we are there, we are in the fight, guys.
We're still in the fight, guys, he says. Yes, you are. It was a tense, rather than necessarily dramatic race, apart from at the start. Had its moments, but it was tense out there. Max had to go for it. He did. He succeeds. 25 beautiful points. And in the fight still for the championship. Looked like he was going to move ahead of that man, Kelvin Van Der Linde, but Kelvin grabbing the place back from Nick Cassidy to get 4th place right at the end of the race, back away instead of 5th. 2 championship points reclaimed. And that's just enough to keep Kelvin by 1 point in 2nd place in the championship. But Liam Lawson, it's not his best result of the season, but it's one of them. It's his 10th podium of the year. So talk about Max Gortz being Mr. Consistent. Liam Lawson is in that category as well now. 4 races where he hasn't finished in the points, but every other time apart from one where he's finished in the points, he's finished in the top 4. Finished on the podium. 1 and 4th place finish. All the other points finishes have been 1st, 2nd or 3rd. But Liam Lawson will be absolutely satisfied. He comes home with 15 championship points. 224 for him. Kelvin Van Der Linde 206 and 205 for Max Gotts by my maths. Funnily enough, because he made the pit stop as late as he possibly could, Lucas Di Grassi crossed the line and shows on the timing screen that he won the race, but of course he didn't because he was making his pit stop at the time. So Maxi Gotts is your winner. Arjun Maini will be chuffed to bits with 2nd place as well. Fantastic drive from him. And Liam Lawson, he'll take that 3rd place. Got a bit stressful at the end, but his teammate gave him a bit of breathing space by briefly getting ahead of Kelvin Van Der Linde. Just when Kelvin was closing up. That's what it feels like to win your home race. And he smashed it, absolutely dominated. 7.6 seconds clear at the flag. But the title, perhaps, coming a little bit closer to Liam Lawson with another podium finish. 10 podiums, 3 wins. Been quite a season for Liam Lawson. He's just got 1 more day to get through now. Max Gotts will still go into the final day of the season in the fight, though. But of course, he'll have a heavy car now with 25 kilograms on board. He gets congratulated by Liam Lawson. He gets a hug from Max. Slap on the helmet as well. And there, the Franconian wins in Nürnberg. A delighted Maxi Gotts. Great drive. Truly great drive, that. To perfection. And he's all beaming smiles, as he should be. He is the winner of race 1 here at DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. And he'll have plenty of fans in the crowd that will be giving him a huge cheer in a few minutes' time when he makes his way up onto the top step of the podium. And he's not the only one that's excited. Fantastic stuff. So Max Gotts wins one of the biggest winning margins of the season so far. There's Bruno Sprengler to the right, competing in a very different category here, but the most successful driver in terms of wins here at the Norisring, there to congratulate the latest successor here around the streets of Nürnberg. Their confirmation of the results then: Gotts, Maini and Lawson on the podium. Kelvin Van Der Linde a frustrated 4th. Nick Cassidy in 5th place after the late pit stop. Lucas Auer 6th. Hunkedaer 7th. Muller finally back in the points in 8th place. Max Boot with a good result in 9th place as well. And Philip Ellis was hoping for a podium early on, had that spin, but 10th place and at least 1 championship point on the occasion of his 29th birthday. Esteban Moot just outside the points in 11th. Marco Wittmann out of the championship fight now in 12th place. And with her late pit stop, Sophia Flörscher coming home in 13th place. So the results starting to come the way now of Sophia at the end of her first season of DTM. She'll too count this as a local circuit coming from Munich, just down the road. So their confirmation of the points with 1 qualifying session and 1 race to go. 28 points is what's left on the table. Liam Lawson brought up onto the podium, which he's become accustomed to of late, all season really. And this is going to be a great moment because Arjun Maini, for the first time in DTM, gets onto the podium. First ever Indian driver to do so. And he's all smiles. Terrific drive. Liam Lawson in his mirrors for all of the second half of the race, really. But here comes the biggest roar, because your winner and your winning team, first up, are going to be celebrated now. And it's HRT who get the win as a team. And of course, Maxi Gotts is going to get the biggest cheer of all, because he's about to be invited onto the top step of the podium for the 2nd time in his DTM career. Max Gotts. Great day for him, great day for HRT. Renaud Dufour is there to take the team's trophy for HRT, one of the engineers. But first of all, before the trophies, we'll now get to hear the national anthem of your race winner, Max Gotts. the German national anthem plays for your race winner, Max Gutz. Time now for the trophy presentations. The third place trophy is going to be presented by Manuel Lettenbichler, who's the FIM Hard Enduro World Champion. The star of his own version of motorsport presents the third place trophy to a star of DTM 2021, Liam Lawson. Third place, extending his championship lead. 1 day to go, but it's not done yet. The second place trophy presented by Georg Scheffler, who is the chairman of the supervisory board of Scheffler AG. Great involvement and support for many years of DTM, and that trophy, of course, goes to Arjun Maini, second place, his first taste of DTM silverware. Renaud Dufour, the engineer for HRT, will now receive the trophy for the highest placed team, and that's going to be presented by Johnny Cicotto, motorcycle legend and world champion. Johnny was racing against Bruno Spengler this weekend in the BMW Classics. He's still got plenty of pace, as Johnny. One of those rare stars of 2- and 4-wheel racing presents then to Renaud Dufour the team's trophy. And this will be quite a moment because it's former double DTM champion and 5 times winner here at the Norisring, a man who's won more times than anybody else around the streets of Nuremberg, Bruno Spengler, and he presents the trophy to first-time Norisring winner, Maximilian Gutz. The crowd massively appreciative of what they've just witnessed, which is a superb drive. Winner here for the second time, keeping himself in the fight, Maximilian Gutz. Race 1 at the DTM Norisring, powered by BWT. Goes to the German driver. It's a Mercedes 1-2, but it's a Ferrari in third place, and it's still a big smile on the face of New Zealand's Liam Lawson. So, photographs done, place down, and now it's time for the champagne race, which Liam Lawson has won. I think Maxi Gutz has been hammered there. I mean, he's got the spectacles for protection, however. He won't be able to see much through them at the moment. Arjun Maini can't see a thing. He's got the champagne completely in his eyes. Great job by Arjun this weekend. And he's all smiles. It'll be great to hear from him at the end of the race. I'd like to get to hear from all 3 of your podium finishers in a few minutes' time with Verena as we get set for qualifying 2 tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock local time here in Germany. We'll be on air about 5 minutes before that to give you all the build-up, and then, of course, same time tomorrow for the final race of the season. And come what may in qualifying, it will go down to the last race. It won't be determined in qualifying, even if Liam Lawson were to get 3 championship points and the others weren't to score any, he wouldn't have quite enough of a lead to have sealed the championship. So it's whatever happens in qualifying tomorrow, it's going to go down to that last race of the season, round 16 of DTM 2021. Some super slow-mos then of your top 3 drivers, and I think Verena is ready with the first of our interviews.
And I'm here with Liam Lawson. Well, almost. He's still getting ready, but here he is already, the man who managed to extend his lead. So 18 points ahead of Kelvin, and exciting P3. So you're happy, I guess, because the main point was to extend your lead, right? Yeah, absolute bonus to extend it. We wanted to get as many points as we could. But finishing in front is obviously much better as well. But what a crazy race. The start was insane. I still can't believe he went for the gap, really, because I was barely making the corner, and then I just see an Audi come down the inside, and I guess he felt like he needed to go for it. But then from there, yeah, it was just quite tough, honestly. The pit stop was good. Guys did a really good job there. Nick was a big help as well when he came out of the pit, because Kelvin was coming at me the last couple of laps. So he absolutely saved me there, but no, really happy with the day. But it's going to be so exciting, because tomorrow will be defined who will be the new champion. Will it be you or Kelvin, or maybe even Maxi? So till the end, it's so exciting. Well, he's only, what, 1 point behind Kelvin now? So it's like 20 points for top 3. It's very close, so nothing's done yet for sure. We need to focus on another good quality tomorrow. We know we have a fast car. We're going to have weight again tomorrow, unfortunately, but it's good to grab the points today. How do you think is the night going to be? Are you going to have a safe sleep, or are you going to be like, whew, nervous?
I'll see what I'm like when I get into bed. I think I should be okay. I hope. Yeah, early night tonight. Work on improving the car again for tomorrow, and then yeah, try and push for the title tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Yeah. Thank you so much, Liam.
Thank you.
Yeah, exciting all the way till the end. I'm looking for Kelvin. He was supposed to be here. He is not here right now. So anybody here? No. So I'll give back to the commentator for the second. I'll be right back.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yes, bed early, Liam. Make sure you get plenty of sleep. Big day ahead tomorrow for all of these 3 remaining DTM contenders. And 7 different winners this year. Arjun Maini's become the 12th different driver to finish on the podium in DTM 2021. There's confirmation of the point situation then, with a day to go. 224 points for Liam Lawson, and that puts him 18 points clear of Kelvin Van Der Linde, 19 points ahead of Maximilian Gotz, with 28 points still available, including from qualifying tomorrow morning. Back to Verena then, who's found her next interviewee.
Yes, how exciting is that? I mean, before the race, you did say you're going for everything. This is your home race. You're so excited, and you managed to grab your 2nd win in this season. So congratulations. How excited are you about this win?
It was crazy, a crazy feeling. I count down the minutes and laps in the end. I was, pushing in the end as well a bit, because you never know. So in the end, it was just enjoyable to drive. The car was great, and we had a good start in the race. I was taking some risk, so I could make a bit more risk than the others. So I overtook Liam in turn 4, and I said all in now, all or nothing. Best or nothing, and then in the end I did a great move, and we had a good pace. So in the end, it's just I enjoy the day as much as I can now.
And it's so exciting because, I mean, it's all about the championship title. You're only 19 points behind Liam, so it really would be possible tomorrow in the race. So I guess you're going to take full-on risk tomorrow?
Yeah, I said all the time from beginning on, the decider is in the last race of the season, and exactly this will happen tomorrow. And now I close to Kelvin as well, so we go for the championship or 2nd tomorrow. 3rd is not an option for us, so we have to make the same again tomorrow, and then everything is fine.
All right, well, best of luck, and I think your team is thirsty. I think you want to give them the champagne, right?
Me too.
So we've got Arjun here now, and Arjun, congratulations. On this side, please, what a phenomenal job you did. It's your best result in DTM, and how excited are you about a 2nd place?
No, of course, I'm very excited. Actually, at the start, I hit Liam and I got some damage on the front right, so my whole race I was with the left hand down. But after the stop, it seemed like the pace was decent still, and I managed to hold the place. So I'm really happy. Really good job from the team at the pit stop, and yeah, amazing job from them all weekend.
And tomorrow, hopefully going for podium again, or maybe for victory for a change?
I hope so. I'll have success ballast for the first time, so of course this won't help. But I think you can be strong in qualifying again.
All right, we're looking forward to that. And so that's it from us for the second. I'm going to give back to the commentator. We're going to try to grab Kelvin still.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, Max Gotz will have 25 kilograms of success ballast on board tomorrow. Arjun will have 18 kilograms, and Liam Lawson will have 15 kilograms, which is still a slightly lighter car than he had. Red Bull, AlphaTauri, AF Corsa then confirmed as teams champions already, but with Team Ab Sportsline and Mercedes AMG Team Winwood still pretty close, only 20 points between them, and that could still swap around for 2nd place in the teams championship. Already at the last round at Hockenheim, we had confirmation that Mercedes were the manufacturers' champions for DTM 2021. Incidentally, car 37, Lucas Di Grassi, under investigation for leaving the pit lane under the pit exit red light. So that's it from me, Chris Hartley, in the commentary box, but we're going to hand back to Verena one more time here at the end of this penultimate day of DTM.
Yes, I was looking for Kelvin. I finally found him. Here he is. Kelvin, when you had the overtake when Cassidy came out of the pit stop, what you said was, this is how they want to play it, but you managed to get back the place, so you ended up on a P4, and you are in the game. I mean, there are 18 points between you and Liam. So first of all, in that moment, what was going on inside of you? You were angry.
I was boiling. To be honest with you, in that moment, there were a lot of bad words going through my head. I don't know, did I swear this time or not?
I
didn't swear.
Congratulations.
Okay, so I'm making progress. No, honestly, it was a bit of a tough one, to be honest. If you see someone you know, he's looking in the mirror, just waiting for whichever direction you go, he wants to take you out. So I'm happy we got it on top of them, and you know, now we can laugh a little bit and say, yeah, you tried everything, but we still beat you, so it's all good.
But now, I mean, it's 18 points. Tomorrow is the last chance for you to grab all the points and to grab the title. So tell us, what does it look like inside of you, and how excited are you? How nervous are you? I mean, you have nothing to lose. You did say that, so you're going for everything, right?
Yeah, of course. We're gonna give it all tomorrow. First of all, I want to have a nice dinner. I haven't had lunch or anything today, so I'm gonna go get some food, that's for sure. And then we'll think about tomorrow. There's a lot in it. Obviously, 25 points or even more with qualifying. So still all to win tomorrow. You see how much can happen in one race. Maybe, you know, we're at the lucky end tomorrow. Who knows?
Who knows? It's going to be exciting till the end.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bon appetit.
Thank you.
And that's it from us here at the Norisring for today. We're going to be back here tomorrow for the spectacular finale. You do not want to miss it. And now here are the highlights. See you later. Bye-bye.
Guys, this was great.